Welcome to today's video. I'm going to draw Agent Jonesy from Fortnite, and thanks to Bear for the suggestion. I'm going to start with his head shape, a smallish head oval shape there. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to plan it so there's 1, 2, 3. His body is 3 times higher than his head, so that's what I've done there, and his legs are a lot longer as well. So this is like a guideline. And then I'm going to construct him up from there. So shoulder, arm comes down and then comes back up. So here is where his hands are going to be. So his hands are sort of overlapping each other there, and that's his arm up in there. And then his other arm comes down here and then back up into his sleeve. So construction lines help get the drawing looking correct. If I was to go straight on with pen with this one, it's pretty tricky. So that's why I've chosen to do construction lines. Now his legs comes down on an angle there. That's his front leg. There's a lot of, and that's his knee there, and that goes up to where his crotch area is, and then his other leg sort of comes in behind, and there's his shoe there and his boot. And his leg comes up like that, and then he's got his other shoe coming forward like so. Now because I've constructed him up, and this is how I would recommend that you construct all your drawings up, especially with people, now I can sort of confidently start to add in all the details. Now that I've got the construction lines worked out, I'm going to put in the details, and I'm going to start with his nose, and he's got a bit of a wider nose and a bit of a almost like a triangular shaped nose. He's got his lips coming up like this, and notice how I'm using a mechanical pencil. You might want to use a sharper pencil, and he's going to have some sunnies on, so I've got his aviator looking sunglasses here. These sunglasses on. And then he's got his nose, top part of his rims of his glasses, and all these details will look much better later on. And he's got his ear, and now he's got quite a chiseled chin, so I'm going to just bring that across like so. And he's got his eyebrows. In there, and then he's got his hair. He's got some little bits of hair coming up like this. Some spiky sort of hair. And some hair coming down the side. And then just sort of flatten the top off there. He's got his other ear. You see a bit of his ear this side, and then with his same size, that keep that on the similar angle, and then he's got his ear piece in there, another ear bit in there, and when we outline with the multi-liner later we can fix that up. Now he's got a thicker neck, so that's going to come down like so. Then it comes into his shirt. He's got a shirt that comes in there. His other shirt comes over this side and then comes around. It's got like a collared white shirt on in the picture that I'm drawing from. Hope you guys are having fun at home. I know you guys obviously are Fortnite fans who are drawing this character, Agent Jonesy. And then we've got his other collar over this side, so we've got his collared shirt on there. And if we want to, we can put like another chin line like that. Alright, let's bring his blue part of his outfit out on. Comes down and around like that. Looks like he's had his sleeves ripped off in the one that I'm drawing. You could keep his sleeves on if you wanted to. Looks like he's had a bit of a rough day. Okay, now the fingers, tricky part. So up, cross, down. This hand is going to sit on top of the other hand, so there's a finger there. You'll see 4 of his fingers, so let's start with this one here. Once his little finger comes across down like that, and then these ones that's slotting in there as well. So you've got to remember there's 3 sections to the finger. End there, and then that. And then his thumb you'll see underneath here, and then this is his other hand tucked in underneath, and his fingers are like he's got his fist into his hand. So there's his hand, comes out like that. He's wearing a watch. I put his watch on. There's his hand. And then bring his watch band down. And his arm comes out. Now sometimes when you do your construction lines, they might be slightly different. And you can change it up. Yeah. This is his forearm. Bring his forearm out, and he's got a big forearm. Comes out. Show his muscles. And then he's got a band around his arm. Like so. And then he's got his jacket, or his sleeve here, it's been ripped off, so you can see a bit of his blue jacket comes out and ripped. And then you can see a little bit of his white jacket in there, so just put a little bit of a ripped jacket through there like that. Now he's got his blue bit here that's ripped off, comes down into there. This is his forearm. We've got to bring this out a bit wider, sort of match that. But here you see more of his bicep. So this is his tricep, folds in around, and then this is his forearm. A lot of curved lines there, guys. And then this is his bicep there. And then all that's his jacket. And ripped white shirt underneath there. Now let's bring his jacket down on both sides. It sort of comes out a bit. This one comes down and around and comes back up. So I draw that first before putting his bows and his arrows on there. Then he's got this jacket, comes down and around like so, and there's a little slot in there like that. Probably on this side too, but you can't see that. He's got his belt and half of his white shirt's hanging out a bit. And then this is the buttons of his white shirt. So he's got like a hemline through there with 1, 2, 3 buttons. And he's got a belt. So the buckle, he's got this coming off. Little triangle line there. And then these little straps, and then it comes down in front, and then on that he's got this arrow stand with some arrows coming up. So if we draw 1, 2, looks like 3 arrows, 3 lines like so, and we continue them down, so pretend they go down through there. We can all rub all that out later on. Let's draw the front of his pants. So that's the front of the pants there. Alright, let's continue this leg comes out. It's the knee. And let's finish off his arrow container. There's another one of these bits like that where the arrows go into. So the arrows are like this. And then underneath there's like another bit of arrows, and then you see this container type thing near his kneecap. Now on the top, these are little bits like that, the top of the feathers of the arrow. And he's actually got a pocket on this side here, and he's got the same on the other side with a line coming down like that on his jacket. Now let's draw his pants. Coming down, this is his calf, there's the end of his pants with a bit of a fold in it. That shoe's back a little bit further, comes around the toe of the shoe. He's got like a pointy shoe, and then he's got his laces, and there's a lace hanging off there. He's got a sole. This is his pants bottom on the other side. Quite a tricky drawing. Hope you guys are going well at home. I'm sure you are. Remember, the more you practice it, the better you'll get at drawing Agent Jonesy. Just like when you're playing the game, you practice. And he's got his shoe coming down, and it points. So it goes into a point. And then the sole of the shoe, and then some laces coming off there with the little bits on them. And that one's a bit more pointy. Now there's Agent Jonesy in pencil. Now it's time to outline him.